Hello everyone and welcome to another video on my channel. This kind of video is a bit of a diary entry for me. In year 13 I started thinking about what I wanted to do for a living after uni because I'd only really thought about what to do at uni and no further. And I just thought, why not go for a master's so I'm a bit more specialised in my content and I'm able to give more, I'm more trained and I'm more furthering my learning in what I really care about. And I kind of just decided, let's go for a master's, have that end goal in sight. And now that I've finished my first year of uni and in a few weeks' time I'm going back to start my second year of uni, I started really thinking about, really, do I still want my master's? So when I started uni, I kind of got overwhelmed with the uni work. I knew it was going to be very stressful, and I knew that I was going to get overwhelmed, but I wasn't expecting it to be that overwhelming where I'd have a mental breakdown on day 2. I went into uni for my first year, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, knowing some sort of information about uni because my mum's been to uni about 3 times, but even though my mum had gone to uni 3 times, nothing could have ever prepared me for what was yet to come. By the time we got to week 5 of the semester, we were already a couple of weeks into the New Zealand lockdown, and so I'd already started making my own routine on how to follow my uni schedule in lockdown situations and quarantine. And, obviously when you're in lockdown, you're obviously isolated from everyone and you're independent, which is somewhat like the postgraduate kind of lifestyle, I believe. I wouldn't know, I'm not there yet, but it is a bit more independent. On top of that, my Drama 100 tutor and my Politics 109 tutor were both working towards their postgrad degrees, and I kind of had a discussion, especially with my Politics 109 tutor, we kind of had a discussion on what postgrad studies was like, and I kind of liked it. Just like the independence and the further work to do, I just really liked it. And that kind of discussion really did fuel me over going in towards postgraduate studies even more, even though in week 1 I was saying in a video, I've worked for 10 years to get into uni, and now that I'm here, is it worth it? Maybe not. No, my mindset kind of just changed. I'm very easily persuaded, it's really bad. But then I also started talking to someone who goes to the University of Waikato, and we were just kind of talking about what we wanted to do for postgrad, and I said I wanted to do my master's, and we spoke about what we both wanted to do for our masters, because this is an economics student I'm talking to, not in a romantic way, but I was just talking to this economics student from Waikato about what we wanted to do for our masters. He said what he wanted to research, what I wanted to research, and then he went on to doing his discussion of what he wants to do for a PhD, and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. And I kind of started looking into doing a PhD, and the further and further I went into doing a PhD, I was like, you know what, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. At that point I wasn't really set on it, I was kind of just set on doing a master's, but no. And then I started talking to my Comms 104 tutor who has a PhD as well, and I was like, ooh, PhD sounds pretty interesting. Working on my own in isolation in what can be seen as like my home office kind of prepared me for what it was kind of like to do some sort of PhD master's kind of work in my mind of what it looks like. And I kind of just got kind of prepared on like independent working and independent research, and especially because even though during the summer break, I've actually been doing a whole lot of reading on academic work just to learn. I love learning, and it just kind of worked out pretty well for me. And also jobs with a PhD would be quite interesting. I really get into working for the government, not necessarily a certain party, but also towards a certain like sector, like Ashley Bloomfield and Caroline McElnay aren't with a specific party, they just collaborate with the government and they're under the Ministry of Health. So maybe I could work for the government in certain situations, but also with a PhD I could work in a university and become a lecturer. But obviously this is more of a diary entry about the master's degree, and I'm kind of still interested. I am still interested. I'm definitely going for the master's, and I started thinking about it and I was like, wow, I could really work in a political party if I wanted to as an expert or a policy advisor, and I could really work for the government as well. I could work in teaching. Last year I would have always said the Master of Arts, but literally just a few weeks ago I was starting to read into the Masters of Public Policy. And that is kind of really interesting to me a bit more, you know, and I had a look at the job opportunities, and it looks into working for the government in policy advisory, policy analysis, journalism as well, so I can still go for the journalism. And, you know, with the master's degree, it helps me, allow me to be more specialised in what I write about, you know. With the gender studies degree, I can definitely be a journalist specialising in gendered issues, gendered affairs, as I like to say. So even though I was kind of going, oh, maybe it's not worth it, the Masters is definitely back up on the board, and it's never coming back down. I'm just going to push myself constantly. But now there's consideration for a potential of a PhD. All I know is that the Masters is like the minimal I really want to go to in education, so I'm going to really work towards that. I'll get the Masters and then I'll be pretty happy. PhD, I don't know. It would be really lovely. I mean, I've got time. I've got plenty of time. I've literally just finished my first year of undergrad, so I've got plenty of time to prepare for and make up my mind if I want to do a PhD. Thank you very much for watching this kind of like mini update, diary entry kind of video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Comment what you'd like to do in university if you're yet to go, or where you're satisfied with in university. Subscribe if you haven't, because I make a new video every week, and I hope to see you in another video.